just gonna talk about the character in the third person, and then we can introduce whatever the rest later. So basically, Carrich Bonnh, he's a young elf. He's only 30 years old, but from a very, very young age, he was the kind of person who would stand up for those around him. He always sought to be the one to defend those that he loved. This kind of naturally led him into becoming an Alarith Stoneguard for the nation of Emetrica, where he would be able to provide his services for the greatest good that he could imagine, and basically protect the temples there. The problem is that his position there was a little bit uncertain, even though his spirit was strong and on par with exemplary Stoneguard, and his strength certainly noticeable. His mind works in a rather different sort of manner. He, as opposed to other Emetrican Stoneguard, he is neither thoughtful nor attentive. He's actually quite an aloof character. His heart is pure, his intentions are clear, and because of that, he was able to pass through the trials of the mountain and actually emerge from his burial. The problem is that he kind of suffers from an inferiority complex, as he kind of sees himself as lesser than his peers, given the different nature of, well, himself as a person. But that in itself made him a perfect candidate for the binding, as he would be able to pursue his true calling of being a defender without being tied down by the fact that he is of a different personality than the rest of his peers. He's got a strong connection to his great hammer, who he calls Bertha, and his helmet that he calls Daswald, who he actually genuinely believes to be his true friends. And he does have a tendency to talk to them whilst thinking out loud. And the final detail is that his Elementar Archmage is techless, which is basically the Archmage of Emetrica.
Nice.
And maybe we shouldn't have opened with that. You set the bar quite high.
Yeah. Also, who wouldn't wear that helmet and have an inferiority complex?
Well, they have to wear it because of it helps with balance and posture and discipline. So.
Yeah. Sorry, that helps with balance.
It does.
Makes you better
it teaches
at
balance and posture.
Maybe.
Yeah, once you practice wearing it for 40 years.
I mean, it did kind of warp his mind. Now he sees it as an actual being, an actual friend. So you're gonna have to hear him talk to his friends a lot. Also, for a voice, I was going to go for more a relaxed kind of surfer dude voice, but I decided that doesn't really match all that well. Only about 30 minutes ago, because then I decided that a perfect voice would be Brom from League, because he is the same personality. And I didn't even do that on purpose. So keep in mind that the heart is the strongest muscle.
What do you since the binding, what do you think of your fellow well, to be fair, you've only been bounded to Molasses, really.
Exactly, and that has proven to be a little bit problematic. Because Molasses has kind of taken advantage of the binding and has basically decided to straight up lie to Carrich. She kind of pulled him into what was supposed to be a nice, simple, and easy mission a personal mission that she had to attend to. And him, being the very overly trusting person, decided to go along. Kind of ended up being a massive, absolute slaughterfest that got way too out of hand, and Molasses she was having the time of her life. Unfortunately for Carrich, he kind of had to defend her, and he had no choice but to protect her from anyone and everyone that was attacking, much to his dismay. And seeing what she was doing wasn't the best scene for him.
Again, so sorry. I didn't know what was going to happen.
I'm sure you didn't know, yeah.
Do you want this to have happened a while ago, or there might be an opportunity for you to actually enact this in Anvilgard as an endeavour together?
No problem with enacting it like something that still has to happen. The only reason that for us, it's something that happens because of the connection that we were supposed to have. So we kind of came up with that. But if you want it to happen eventually, then it works either way.
Yeah, or it could just happen again, and that could be even more annoying for Carrich.
It could actually just happen again. I mean, again, knowing Carrich, like I said, he's not the brightest bulb, so he's already trusting, and he would just go along again. So it could happen again.
So should we go over to Molasses? It just reminds me of that. You ever seen Over the Garden Wall?
No.
There's a song. What's it called? Something in Molasses. I'll send it to you anyway.
Oh, sorry. There's two last things that I wanted to mention. Should I actually talk about the goals, or is that something that only you should know?
Have you rolled for goals?
I wrote my goals.
You wrote them.
Should I have rolled for them? I mean, I know that I saw something in the book. Maybe I should have.
Well, the thing is, because we're doing a set adventure, I can't really help you. I can't make the adventure line up with your goals.
I mean, it kind of does anyway. I did it on purpose to line up with the adventure. So the short-term goal would be to protect civilians from taking any harm, which I think is what's going to happen, and I hope so at least. The long-term goal is for him to prove himself worthy of being the Stoneguard and actually save a town or a city from impending doom.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That kind of fits. We can make that work.
Awesome.
Molasses.
Yes.
Who are you?
Molasses Slaughtershade, I actually forgot my actual class. The daughter of Khaine, I keep thinking I'm a Slaughtershade, but I'm not a Slaughtershade, I'm a whatchamacallit? A flibbity flobbit. A jibbity jobber. You know what it is. The Shadowstalker, that's it exactly. Yes, born on the battlefield for the sect of Kraith, who roam the outer wilds of the favoured temple city of Hagnar, where she made a name for herself as the most brutal and fearsome assassin and bloodletter on the battlefield. She lived a happy life, growing up completely drenched in blood and death and destruction. It was the most beautiful thing she'd ever witnessed, and had a very happy childhood before she was noticed by Morathi, the disciple of Khaine, who brought her into the main temple of Hagnar and started to train her up as a leader of a secret sect of assassins that no one actually knew about. But actually, after she arrived at Hagnar, the favoured temple, her parents were mysteriously murdered out in the wilds, and not long after that, as she was gathering favour, she was betrayed by her closest friend, and who told Morathi that Molasses was doubting the existence of Khaine, that he might have actually died, and Morathi, being the bitch that she is, sentenced Molasses to the Soulbound. Molasses is not happy to be Soulbound at all. She was very happy being trained up to be the right-hand assassin of Morathi in the favoured temple of the Daughters of Khaine. But she was sentenced to be Soulbound because she was seen to be too much of a dangerous threat, being such a powerful assassin and someone who she was told to be doubting Khaine, even though she is not. She is a loyal follower of Khaine and believes in all the dire, grim horribleness that comes with it. So yeah, she's not happy to be Soulbound to you guys, I'm afraid. She doesn't think a lot of any of you. She's a very old elf, not very old, she's 130, so pretty old. So yeah, pretty dismissive, very arrogant character, but one with a wicked sense of humour and a wicked evil glint. And again, being a daughter of Khaine is purely intent on bloodletting and the most horrific ways to encounter any encounter, and is very much dedicated to wiping out chaos, though, just in the most bloody and horrendous way she possibly can, and will go about any way to make that happen. Let's see. So yeah, that's really it. But obviously, although of course being soulbound is not her ideal thing, it has allowed her to obviously come in touch with a powerful binding of heroes, and in fact gain extra skills and special powers herself. So she was going to plan to use these skills and these new friends to help wreak her revenge on those who betrayed her and try and reclaim herself as the right-hand assassin of Morathi.
Nice. So you're still loyal to Morathi then?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's not her fault she was betrayed. It's the person who betrayed me that is to be slain and destroyed, and anyone who comes into contact with her. So yes, still loyal to me. Although one interesting, actually, should that be a secret for now? Yeah, that could be a secret for now. That's fine. That can come later. But I'll touch base on the whole because actually that's quite an interesting connection to Daryl's character there, actually.
Nice.
But yeah, let me check. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's Molasses Slaughtershade. And yeah, so as a Shadowstalker, it's very much all about the shadowy backstriking, bit of poison. Just trying to feel my spells yet, but I'm sure it'll be mainly to do with bloody murder.
Nice. All right, I want to use storm people.
Folks, why don't you go storm folk, Alex?
That's a title. Storm people.
I'll storm it. Don't you
No,
worry.
shut up.
Yeah, so I unfortunately have not had the opportunity to build up my character as much as I would like this week. But I can give you some basics. I am Orixion the Just. A Knight Azyros of the Knights Excelsior Stormhost, who are known for kind of being quite extremist and ascetic and disciplined and martial, and subverting the individual in favour of the whole. But there's only one. I was looking at this at the Stormhost, and there's only one Knight Azyros and in the whole Stormhost, and he's already got a name. So my one, I guess, is going to have to be like some kind of secondment, perhaps from another Stormhost somehow, or on a special mission. So the thing about so the Knights Azyros are supposed to be primarily ambassadors that go ahead of the Stormcast Eternals attack, invasions, to kind of make allies and make deals with kind of mortals who might be friends with Sigmar rather than get killed by them, and not so much like police inspectors or whatever, because our job in this campaign is investigating and potentially purifying a city. And from what I was looking at, the more appropriate role in the Stormcast for that is Lord Veritant. There's a Lord Veritant who are basically inquisitors. They will turn up and interrogate people and kind of get their secrets. So my kind of idea is that while I'm not quite sure exactly how he got to be in his position, but he's doing the job of a Lord Veritant, despite being this Azyros character. Yeah.
So maybe it's a battlefield promotion or something, or needs must kind of situation.
It needs must when the devil drives is the thinking that I'm having. But yes, the main bit of backstory that we know already about Orixion is that at some point in the very distant past, he and Zuriel Stormwake were comrades in arms. But since then, he has, at least for a very long time, been acting as a Knight Azyros and doing less combat-heavy duties. Has been killed only a couple of times in battle and only reforged a couple of times over hundreds of years. Whereas, if I remember correctly, Zuriel has been reforged a much larger number of times in that period. So he is mainly about kind of coming to terms with the fact that hundreds and thousands of his brothers and sisters have been crusading for Sigmar, and he's been a bit more of a desk jockey by comparison, or like a scroll jockey. But now maybe he's going to get a chance to do some fighting again.
I love how naturally you said he's only died a few times.
Nice.
In terms of his actual background and stuff, I like the idea of him having been a kind of unwilling warlord before he was reforged, or the first time he was taken by Sigmar. He might have been like a kind of tribal leader of a not particularly warlike tribe that was pulled into fighting, and then found himself, against all odds, actually quite a good military leader, but didn't enjoy it and took no pleasure in it, and generally was a bit conflicted about the whole thing, and was winning a battle, and then made some kind of desperate ploy to try and finish the battle quicker and got himself killed, perhaps. That's where I'm going with it.
Interesting. So Sigmar saw you as a bit of a redemption. You had the opportunity to redeem yourself. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's what bonus do you get for being Excelsior?
I actually don't know that because I hadn't decided to be it until just now.
Oh, fair.
I'm going to look it up.
I know Milo was looking at them, so he might know.
I think they're the ones that get the they're the ones that get the foresight, where they can they know if they're going to die or not.
Jesus.
Or is that the? Oh no, that's the Warbringers. In that case, I do not know, but I do have it up here, and I can tell you because I've just been looking at mine. Excelsior, right?
Yeah.
You are relentless in your eradication of enemies of the God King. Whenever you take an endeavour or direct action to reduce doom, it decreases by 2 more. However, you refuse to see grey in the world, making it almost impossible to deal with those you deem to have committed evil. You have greater disadvantage on guile and intuition tests against anyone with a dubious past, such as known criminals or anyone touched by chaos. In some cases, will outright refuse to deal with them.
It's a good thing you're paired up with Molasses, then.
Nice.
Good job, you shouldn't be taking a great deal of tests against him.
Yeah.
Her, not him.
We shall see.
That kind of makes
I've
sense
had
for
to take
someone who
tests
goes.
against.
If you're going around like realms and stuff and getting people to fight against chaos warbands and stuff, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You'd be very much like, nope, they need to be destroyed.
Yeah, he's the role is of a diplomat, but it's a diplomat for a state whose political philosophy is join us or die. Pretty much, right? Like, Sigmar doesn't either. As far as Sigmar's concerned, you're either a worshipper of Sigmar or a worshipper of chaos.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, there are other gods, aren't there?
Oh, that's true, because he has allies.
Yeah.
He used to be allied with Nagash, but obviously they're not talking. And then, all the destruction.
I know for a
of
fact
the
there are multiple
enemies.
gods, that's for sure, so. And
Yeah.
they're all like, the good guys. He's just a god
But
king.
that's
well,
kind of not the point, right? You're either good or bad. That's the point. Like,
Well, yeah.
there's no in between for such a person.
No, sir.
Is that in the Champions of Order, Milo?
It is, yes.
Roger, Dodger.
Yeah, because the Champions of Order introduces factions and gives you bonuses on factions, etc. It's actually quite cool. It's a good addition, in my opinion.
Right, you wanna go, Zuriel?
Yes. Zuriel Stormwake of the Celestial Vindicators, clad in teal armor, with just a shock of white hair and lightning tattoos across his face. So-called, given the name Stormwake by his Lord Arcanum, after getting a sort of a name for charging into battle unleashing the power of Sigmar's wrath, and there being a wake of Sigmar's dead enemies. Reckless, perhaps even by Celestial Vindicators standards, was elevated to the ranks of the Stormcast Eternals when. So as a mortal in Akshi, he was a sorcerer. Not a super talented one, but a budding sorcerer in the city of. I've not written it down. Hallowheart, I think it was. In the city of Hallowheart, which is one of one of the cities of Sigmar, a stronghold of Sigmar. But in that region, the forces of Tzeentch are sort of ever present and insidious, and some sort of Tzeentchian sorcerers ploy to sort of infiltrate and change people into demons, basically. Successfully pulled off this ploy, and he was found himself fighting against his various kinsmen and friends and family that had been warped by demons. So while fighting them, he gave into his rage and sort of basically self-combusted in a sort of unleashing of his sorceress powers, killing many of the demons, but dying in the process with a curse on his lips. And as his hatred was deemed pure, he was sent to the Celestial Vindicators, to the Bladestorm Chamber. And in terms of connections, one of the connections is with Molasses, and something that only Molasses will know is that Molasses saw Zuriel Stormwake at his worst, and this was the last time that he died on the battlefield. As many of his brothers and sisters fell, he lost control of his rage and sort of overcast his abilities beyond what he could control. And in the wake of that storm, a dozen or more free guildsmen fighting alongside him were also killed in the storm blast. And realizing what he had done in a moment of hesitation, he was then killed, and that's the last thing that he remembered before being reforged. So he comes back a little more wary and troubled of that.
When they were blasted by the lightning, would you say those bodies exploded in a mist of red death and destruction?
Pretty much, yeah.
Lovely.
Pretty much. So the only person that knows that is Molasses and Sigmar. And when he was reforged, Sigmar sent him to join this group of soulbound adventurers, and he would believe that only Sigmar and perhaps his what they called now the what do they call the head of a
Celestant.
Yeah, so only Sigmar and the Lord Celestant would know about this, as far as he knows.
Nice.
And
he's a bitter rival of demons, the things he hates the most, and as such, loves fighting them, but is perhaps prone to going a bit far.
And were you given a reason for having to lead this binding of two?
So I think Zuriel was sent improve his control of his powers in in a different environment with different allies, but also to sort of not necessarily repent's probably the wrong word, but to refocus on the other thing that knight incantors are charged with, which is trying to find artifacts and knowledge that will help fix the flawed reforging process.
Ooh.
So basically sent away from the battlefield for a bit.
So you're a tech freak.
Yeah, I'm a tech priest. Let's go with that.
Tech Marine.
Seeking out that tech, that hidden lost tech.
Alright, cool.
That's well cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
I like especially that you're a murderer, and that Orixion would I doubt he would approve.
Well, Molasses will have a fun time teasing him about knowledge.
Oh yeah, how did Orixion and Zuriel end up in the same team? Because you're not bound to us. Like, Carrich and Molasses are bound, but
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could be an incalculably unlikely coincidence, or maybe not.
maybe all will be revealed soon.
okay. Quick question for Ollie. Were we supposed to have a blue bar on top of our heads?
Blue bar? No.
Because no, so we don't have 3 bars.
So you
My
have-
little dude has 2 bars, a white
Okay, no,
one and
I'm-
a green one.
Yeah, I'm asking because I thought I remembered you mentioning.
so green is toughness.
So I'm just gonna use blue for my armor then.
Trying to remember what. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, and then red was wounds, but you should start with 0 wounds.
I just used blue for my armor then, just
Yeah.
to have
That's
something there.
Cool.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Someone remind me again. How do you choose spells? How many spells do you get? I kind of remember us discussing it, and then I didn't take note of it.
You
Yeah,
start with 4 plus Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield, which you automatically know.
That's it. And you can just grab 4 other spells from your color and general.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Is it specifically those 2? I thought it was like any 2 from the common list.
Depend.
No, it's you learn Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield, and then you can pick 4 from common and your
Right.
and your
right.
class.
Yeah.
Basically, you learn, Magic Missile and
Yeah.
so you have something.
Pit of Shades is so fucking cool.
I'm just reassessing my spells because now that I understand their level of difficulty to cast, I'm like, oh, I actually can't really cast that.
Oh, of course. Right. Yes. Sorry.
That will definitely fail every time.
The DN. Wait. Is DN for us or the test for us? Which is the one we have to pass?
Just reminded me. There's something that I've failed to mention, only because I assumed that you guys would know, but obviously there's no way you would know unless you actually read into my character. Being from Ymetrica,
That's me.
let's see. Carrich will always act last in the first round of combat, but act first every round after that.
What? That's crazy. But cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Sorry. Why is that? It's the Ymetrican trait.
No, but
they're-
I was gonna say, what's the?
Yeah,
the
so it's
base
because
thing.
they're steadfast and all about that big defense, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That goes into his character as well, which is why, because they're usually the more thoughtful and strong-willed elves, which is why he felt like an outcast, because he was not thoughtful in any way. Sorry, Ollie, you said something? Ollie?
Hang on one sec.
So while Ollie is away, I'll actually read this part to you directly. Ymetricans are famed for their stoic tacticism and preparedness, and never act in haste. You always act last in the first round of combat, but act first, etc., etc. Additionally, the thoughtful talent is added to the list of available talents for your archetype, which, as you can imagine, I did not use. But yeah, so that's because they like take their time before they make a decision, and then once they decide on something, it's like it's gonna happen.
Cool.
Sweet. What is Doom? I haven't read enough of the game mechanics to know.
Well, I think let's just start, and then we can sort of go through all the tests and all the mechanics and stuff as it comes up.
Did you have a question for me though? Because I thought you said something.
Who, me?
Yes, as in like before you just left.
No.
Okay, never mind then. I'm just hearing things then.
So yeah, I shall reread the blurb.
Can I just have one last question for Milo about spells, just so I can pick a couple and be off the races?
Yes.
With the DN, so you're looking at spells. It says like the name of the spell is DN 5/3.
Mm-hmm.
What's what? The speed is 5 with.
We'll cover it. We'll cover it when we actually.
Yeah,
get into
it's the same as
combat.
basically all the other tests. So we'll
Yeah.
big numbers hard, small numbers easy.
The first.
But what about ones where there's a high first big number? Just which of the two numbers?
So just quickly, the first number is the number you have to get on your dice.
Yep.
So
Great.
4-1 means you have to get a 4 for a success. The second number is how many of those you need. So 4-1 is you need at least one 4 or above.
Right. So you need 5/3. You need 3 5s. So really,
Exactly.
you just want to roll more dice.
Yep.
So you really want the second one to be lower because it's a lot easier to get.
Yeah, and then
Great.
focus. You can add 1 to one dice to make it up.
Yeah, great. Can you reduce? You can't use focus to reduce one down, can you?
I don't think so.
Cool. Okay, that's all I needed. That's great.
All right, so you have arrived in the city of Anvilgard, a heavily fortified port city on the Charwind coast. The lands around the city teem with aggressive life, and tall dragon-headed towers belch forth a green-grey mist that kills the plants and leaves the city constantly shrouded in mist. Sorry, 1 second again.
Mm-hmm. Why does that sound like a rejected ABBA song?
Yeah, it's like a low beat. Take a chance, take a chance. Dig a dug. Alright, Pit of Shades will have to cast that. I won't take Pit of Shades. Oh, it sounds so cool.
Alright, second paragraph. Lord Castellant, Ephraim van Helm of the Anvils of the Heldenhammer, which is a Stormcast chamber that occupies the city, has instructed you to investigate the corruption and evils present in the city, and to judge if the people are worth saving. If not, the Stormcast Eternals will act, and they will be neither subtle nor forgiving. So, this is the city of Anvilgard.
Ooh.
And you can see this mist that's been belching out of the...
Oh shit! I didn't even pay attention to that.
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
that's coming out of it.
Yeah.
So it's like vents. They're like vents or
Yeah.
pipes all around the city.
So they're
Yeah.
big towers that belch forth this mist.
Is that like mist running through the streets as well?
Yes, one of the, you notice as
Oh, yeah.
you arrive, one of the side effects is the mist has a chance to blow back, and obviously there's a dense fog in the city as well.
In the city.
So the Anvils of the Heldenhammer, are they kind of camped out outside the city? We've met them outside the city, or have we heard from them remotely?
So you will have met with them. I assume probably after your binding. and you travelled here together. They have rule over it. As you can see, this is a very purposefully made city. This is like a classic storm keep. That was a frontier storm keep, and then it was turned eventually into a massive city as people moved there and it got safer and safer. But yeah, I think we talked about this before. I think the way that the Stormcast, they go forward, they reclaim all this land from chaos, and then they'll leave behind them cities and areas for people to live. But they don't have enough of them to stay or keep an eye on it or patrol it or anything. But they must have heard something to send you there. There must be a reason for you to be sent there. So whilst you are in the city, you arrive and you are told that you'll be summoned to meet the Conclave, which is the ruling body of the city. But you don't know when those summons will arrive, so you actually have some time to kill. And
You have to kill something.
yeah. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do some endeavours.
Ooh.
Anvilgard specific endeavours. Now I've selected 2 endeavours that you can pick from, depending on what takes your character's fancy.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is ritual combat, which you'll need to be either a daughter of Khaine or have at least 2 training in weapon skill, which means that you'll spend a few days worshipping Khaine by partaking in a series of ritualized combats.
Shotgun.
So does anyone else have training too in weapon skill?
Yes.
So you can join Molasses if you wish in some gladiatorial combat.
It is likely, but let's hear what the other endeavours are.
Well, there's only one other, which is study Anvilgard, which means you dedicate your time to learning as much as you can about Anvilgard and its people by socialising in various leisure locations or studying its history at the City Archives office.
Shotgun. Orixion would definitely seek immediately to better his knowledge of the city and its people as a baseline from which to compare the way that it is now as they investigate. So he would make a beeline for that one.
Yeah. And Carrich, if you don't have weapons training too, then I will allow Molasses to drag you in anyway. Trick you
Kind of goes with the territory at this point.
Love it.
So we've got
Zuriel will go for the ritual combat option as well.
Echo that.
I'll have the combat, please.
So
I
three.
think fighter combat.
So 3 are being thrown into combat, and Orixion is just going to go read the archives.
He's like, yeah, I will.
I mean, it kind of makes sense now
Yeah.
that it already.
You've dropped them off at the play area, the soft play area.
Pretty much.
I'll be back in 2 hours. You behave now.
Orixion gives a kind of barely perceptible shake of the head in the hashtag SMH type of shake of the head, and then flies off towards the archives.
Right, cool.
Oh yeah, because you can fly, eh?
So Molasses, Carrich, and Zuriel, you sign up for some ritualized combat. Would you like to go to the Hag's Sacrament or the Lakoi Kinja?
The Hag's Sacrament.
I have no idea what those are.
I was read something about hags in Khaine, so we don't like hags, I don't think, so I'll go there.
Fair.
That's where I drag Carrich.
I mean, yeah, I'm being dragged anyway, so I don't really have a choice in the matter.
I suppose Zuriel will just stick with his new comrades.
All right. So,
Come, Carrich, come with me. I'll show you all the things you need to see. I don't rhyme all the time. Actually, that was excellent. Don't think I'm a rhyming person.
are you turning into a what do they call them?
Oompa Loompa?
Harlequins.
Oh yes,
Not Harlequins.
no.
I spent ages writing a poem for.
You did, and they were very, very.
It was spectacular.
Really good. Yeah.
Anyway, so to do these endeavours, they are extended tests, which means that you basically you can do it 3 times, but you need to get the difficulty is 410. So you basically need to get 10 4s on 3 tests.
Jesus.
So we can say that they're like 3 bouts that you take part in. So if you'd all like to roll me a weapon skill test.
How?
I'm just gonna. So it's gonna be your body plus your weapon skill.
Exactly.
training.
Yeah. So you've got 5. No, in my case, I've got 5 dice.
I got an attack pool of 5. Yeah, but is that
What's the? Sorry, you say what's the DN again?
410.
4.
So yeah.
So that is just a paltry 2 successes.
Oh.
that work for me?
One question though: does the focus count with every roll in this case?
Yes. Every roll that you have of the skill that you have focus in. Yeah.
So we've got to get.
Good. That's
we're getting
good.
10. We're getting 10 4s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got a pool of 5. Well,
So you've got 2 more rolls, Zuriel.
Yeah, but we're going to do it all together. So it's like.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
This is your first fight.
Right. Okay. So do you want to go next, Molasses?
Yeah, I haven't actually finished assigning my XP yet, so I was just doing that. I feel like I should have done something else.
Okay, I'll go.
You go. I'm just going to finish doing.
Oh, lovely! That's actually
damn.
a full 5, because I can turn that 3 into a 4, because I've got 1 focus. Yay!
Nice.
Does that 6 count for anything in this game?
No.
Well,
Well,
count as 2. No, I don't think it counts as 2 successes.
No, I don't think so. No. I'm just trying to be
I think
helpful.
there are times when it is useful to have
Yeah, there are talents
higher
that
rolls.
probably
but, yeah.
boost them.
Watch my next 2 rolls be shit now.
Sorry, I just have one. Bear with me. I have 1 XP left to spend. What affects defense? That's armor, isn't it? Let's put it into. What does dexterity give you? Anyone? Very quickly.
You've got. Okay, if you roll, I'll give you a. Page.
No, I'm just trying to get rid of my XP and then I'm done. I've got 1 XP left to spend. I've put a bunch of channeling and weapon skills, so I just want to check out something else.
Okay, let me find it for you. 'Cause there's a literal.
I just
you
want
want to
one
know-
other thing to put my last point in.
What about stealth? Put something in stealth.
Stealth. I've already got a point of stealth naturally from being
Okay. Reflexes.
being an elf. What do they help you with?
I'm trying to find what the
makes it
dexterity
harder to hit.
is.
Okay. I like that. Alright, I'll put 1 reflex then. No worries. All done. Right, great. Okay, weapon skills. I have 2 weapons. I have 2 trading weapon skill and 2 focus and weapon skill. So I have a pool of 5. Does that sound right?
Yeah, you can also just click on weapon skill.
I
on the
did, and
sheet.
I did, and it didn't do anything.
So just so you know,
weapon skill.
dexterity actually really works on you because it's about like sleight of hand tricks and that sort of stuff.
I think you're right. I'll dexterity. You're right. Okay. Fine. That didn't work for me, so I was going to do it manually. Something keeps popping up. Input value target. Bugger off. Let me try
Yeah,
one
you
time
actually
now.
need to use that. That's you putting in the target DN of what you're trying to roll against.
Which was 4.
4.
Bugger off! I never want to use this. I'll never.
Submit weapon skill bonus 2.
Is that
Right?
your
No,
damage?
No, you don't have to put anything. It
It's
calculates
asking
the
it for
weapons.
me. It's asking
Yeah.
it for me.
So you should have 5, and you have 4 body, right? And you have 1. Wait, I'm trying to help you. You've got 4 body, correct?
I got 3 body.
You've got 3 body. How much training do you have in weapon skill?
2.
2. So you should have a total of 5 dice.
Yes.
So put in 0 in the table that just came up now. Try to roll and see how much you get.
Okay. Tell me 0, you're saying.
Yeah.
That looks very
So
different to your ones.
Yeah. No, so you rolled 5 dice, so it was correct, and you got 4.
Nice.
How do you know if I got
If you hover over result, you can see the dice that you rolled.
1 + 1 + 0 = 1 + 1 + 0? What the fuck?
But you can use your 2 focuses to make that 2 into a 4.
No, it has 2 training, not 2
Oh,
focus.
there we go. Roll it. Roll it. 3, a 1, a
focus
1,
as
a
well.
1.
Oh, it has 2 focus as well?
Oh
Damn.
my god, what the hell?
Don't worry about the first brackets. Do the equals.
Okay.
2, 4, 4,
2.
4, 6. That's 2, 5, 5,
Oh, I
6.
see.
That's your roll.
But none of those are 4s.
But they're above 4.
Oh, you got to
success.
beat 4. I think you had to
Yeah.
get 4.
No, you have to get or beat.
Great. So 4. So I got 4. Great. I'm on it. I've got it.
And
all.
since you also have 2 focus, you can shift that 2 into a 4.
Oh, you can do 2 on 1, can you?
I assume so. Let's just. I'll look it up
Yeah,
again
you can.
after the
You
session.
Great.
Okay.
All right, we'll call that 5 then. Great. I want a 5. Great. Off we go.
Okay, great. So Zuriel.
A whirly blades.
Back to
Zuriel,
Zuriel.
what's happening? What's happening to you?
Right. Well, Zuriel is
Shaky start.
more interested in general in calling the lightning, but would just like to refresh the skills, having just been killed.
Oh, yeah.
It's not great. It's
That's
just
just-
another 2 successes.
Oh, no focus.
No focus. No.
So you
no
need to
training.
get 6 in your last test.
Which is actually impossible.
Yeah. Go on then.
Feel
Carrich.
right for a Stormcast Eternal, does it?
Right. Let me go.
Maybe you're not you're not
Boom!
used to
4 successes.
the
but I cannot
gladiatorial
shift.
style of fighting. Like,
So I've got
Yeah,
4
I-
more, so
I
that's
think-
9 in total.
Perhaps Zuriel has chosen to go in with only his dagger as a
Leveler.
further test.
I'm only using 2. I'm only using 2 daggers, so you know. Just so you know.
Well, that's 2 daggers, isn't it?
That is true.
One more than he has.
And one of them is magic.
You got a second roll, Molasses?
Light, great, okay. I know what I'm doing now.
Sorry, I used the
Says-
Great Hammer because it's the same thing. I just realized now, but yeah,
He
it's still
says
5.
slowly. Target DN is 4. Submit. There's your submit. Lovely. 3, okay, so what do we roll? But I can... Wait, your focus is every roll, do we decide, or just once per combat?
Every roll.
Single roll. Brilliant.
yeah.
So, yeah, just up to... So I'll go back up to a 4 then, I think, yeah. So I'm on to 9. Yeah, 9. In total.
Alright.
I love how
So-
Carrich and Molasses are tied. Every
Ooh,
roll.
it's a race. Well, this is
Yeah.
the... So are we murdering lots of people at the moment, or are we...
Oh yeah, I'm imagining it's full on like that bit in the first fight in Gladiator where they just throw everyone in. And
Yeah,
there's,
with
like,
2 daggers.
the guy pissing himself in the corner, there's like an ogre,
Oh, yeah.
there's, you know, all sorts. Maybe Zuriel's
Yeah.
trying to take on the ogre.
With two-
Like,
With 2
sounds about
daggers,
right.
2 daggers, Molasses definitely do a lot of Drax, stabby, repeat stabbing into the things he can shadow step into. So
yeah.
there is
Molasses-
blood spraying everywhere right now.
Yeah, Molasses goes full Drax.
That's it.
Yeah.
Get it on my armor, please.
I'll get
Zuriel, do
everywhere.
you want to roll your last test? You might just fail, so you're not going to.
Yeah, we can go with that. Maybe I'll just fail. Let's just test this. And, yep.
Oh shit!
It's 4 successes.
Not bad, not bad.
Right.
So you do end up with
mine.
8. Overall.
Wait.
8 in general. Perhaps Zuriel tires of fighting with his dagger and actually gets his Incantor staff out and starts laying the smackdown on, but just a bit too late.
Yeah. So who's left? We got Molasses and Carrich.
Shall
You
I?
going again, Karen? Yeah, go for it.
Yep.
Yeah, go.
I'm just waiting for Ollie to let me know. Ooh, not great, but still enough.
It's
Got
enough. You're
3
tiring.
more. So, what, 11 in total?
Hmm.
No, 12. 12 in total.
Right, can I be
Yeah.
12? Here we go.
Already the Gimli and Legolas dynamic.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit soft. But, yeah, no, same. It's going to be exactly the same, yeah. Put up to a 12 as well.
Wait, what? It didn't come up. That's mine.
Oh, that's yours. That explains why it was... Oh, I didn't finish... I don't like this at the table. I don't like it. I'm not going to lie. It still didn't pops up. I don't love it. There we go. Oh, wow, some failures there.
It is actually the same. It's still the same.
It is still going to be 12, yeah.
Wow, nice.
Murder. Blood.
And Zuriel's like, it still only counts as one.
Zuriel's like, just be grateful I've not called the storm.
Yet.
Well, I've created a storm of blood, so that's fine.
So unfortunately, Zuriel, you get nicked.
You're Nick, mate.
You get fucking nicked, son. You end up taking a minor wound as maybe some little shitty little grot gets under in your blind spot, shanks you from behind.
Oof.
Which you're definitely not
Presumably
used
before being pummeled into the ground.
to. Oh yeah. Maybe that's when you release the lightning. It's just
Yeah, I think probably he gets stabbed, loses his temper, and just thunderbolts this little grot into a little smoking pile of ash, and then the storm's off.
That's the Zuriel I know. Excellent dusting, Zuriel.
Should have gone to the library.
well, you end up
Cut to the library.
Yeah, you end up being crowned.
Orixion with his reading glasses on, like.
Very interesting.
Yeah, you just hear the roar of the pits like outside the window.
Just close the window very slow.
So uncivilized. So you guys win the ritualistic combat. Perhaps Molasses, you are bowing and giving your salute to Marathi. And Khaine.
Absolutely. Flicking blood making it rain.
And so you will get as a reward.
Oh shit.
A minor wound.
You have you will get one use of the miracle Dance of Doom, which you can use until your next endeavour.
Do tell us what the miracle Dance of Doom does.
I think it basically gives you extra actions every turn until you stop, basically.
Damn.
I'm up for
So
that.
it's a bit like
Sounds delicious.
It's a bit like a Berserker's Rage kind of thing.
DBC.
Right. And now we do cut over to the. Did Orixion end up in the place where all the books are, or were you decided to talk to people as well?
I don't know if he would have gone down to talk to anyone. He probably would have looked down on the streets as he flew towards the archive, trying to see if there was anything of note, changes, anything unnatural in the streets.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, nothing catches your eye too much. I think you note that maybe the fog is. You can see the fog is getting thicker, close to the city, which it wasn't before. Maybe when you were here last.
It's thicker the closer you get to the centre of the city.
It's the centre's where obviously the nicest area is, and then normally it's quite high up, so the fog doesn't reach it. It's normally if you live by the walls in the cheap places, that's where the fog is thickest, but it's actually getting closer and closer, harder and harder to avoid. So it's the same thing, sort of thing for you as well, but you do 3 tests with your intuition, your law skill, and you have to get the difficulty is 4-8, so you have to get 8 4-ups.
Okay. Hello.
This music's great.
It is. Also, it's not
Did you
fair.
say I could choose between intuition and law?
So intuition,
Or just law?
intuition and guile is more like asking around, and law is your studying.
Okay. Well, this isn't going to work very well because I don't have any training in law at all.
Feel free to
And-
also just you could ask around as well, using your authority.
Authority.
I
So-
was gonna say that.
That's going to be significantly more effective because I have a miracle called Unburden Thyself. Your holy words implore others to speak plain and true. Choose a creature within short range. They must make an opposed soul determination test versus your soul devotion. If you succeed, the creature must truthfully answer a number of questions equal to the difference in successes. Additionally, the target feels better for speaking truly and is more amicable towards you. You have advantage on any opposed test for social interactions with the target for the rest of the day.
That's cool.
So I think rather than looking at the scrolls, Orixion would probably maybe head for like the head librarian or whatever as a kind of some form of civil official that counts as part of this endeavor, basically.
Yeah.
And be like, bah, look at me, I've got wings, you need to talk to me. But no, he would sort of arrive and say, good day, mortal. My name is Orixion, Knight Azyros of the Knights Excelsior Stormhost, on a mission from the Lord Celestant of the other one.
Anvils.
The
Men in Black.
It's beholden upon us to find out what's going on in this city, and I have to gather as much information as I can. Tell me everything you can about Anvilgard and what's happening at the moment, and especially this strange green smoke.
Okay, so yeah, go on.
No. Open the old lantern, show him Sigmar's light. I don't actually, because it'll fucking melt him. But
No, you have
but yeah, like I will invoke Sigmar's power to impose my devotion upon him through this use of this miracle.
All right. So yeah, so they happily oblige, and they tell you all about the. Well, let's see. Actually, if you roll the tests, we'll see how much you learn.
Yes, sir. So they must make an opposed determination test versus my devotion, DN, and my brackets. My soul brackets devotion is 4, and then 1 training and 1 focus. So does that make the DN 6?
Let me just look up opposed tests again. I mean, I'm happy to say that this goes off because they would have absolutely no reason to say no to you. They'd just be like blown away by your ability, by your presence. So yeah, happy for you to just roll the endeavour, and let's say it's 3-8 instead.
3-8. And I can use something other than law this time.
Yeah, use guile or intuition.
Well, intuition is better, so. So I need to get 8 3s or up
on 3 tests. Do you have any focus in?
I don't have focus, sadly, no.
Okay, so it's just.
So I've got 2 so far.
Yeah.
I continue talking to the man. Oh,
The man is talking to
5.
Yeah.
I continue talking to the man.
Please pull this off. Oh no!
I think in this case, with you being very impressive and stuff and getting 7 out of 8, I think it's all good. So let me just see if you gain anything.
You get a wound.
So if successful, you learn much about the city's people history, gaining advantage on intuition and lore tests whilst within Anvilgard, depending on your chosen field of study.
What, like for the whole time I'm in, for the whole campaign, whenever I'm in Anvilgard?
Yeah.
Sweet!
So advantage is...
Alright. Guess.
What's wrong, Milo?
That seems good. I'm very happy.
Take your wound and like it.
Yeah, that's right. I now know stuff about the buildings around us.
Yeah.
very sexy.
Sexy, right?
Sexy knowledge. So in particular, what you learn about the... because you noted that you were interested in the mist. And she notes that it's called... it's what they call exfoliant. And it is designed to resist the ever-encroaching life and nature that is growing outside of the city, because Anvilgard is situated in a place called the Crucible of Life, which is a rapidly growing wild jungle. And this mist was developed by what are they called? They're called the Stormwind Arsenal. Is that right? I'm making that up.
Rings a bell.
It's a bit wowish.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, Stormwind is definitely not the right city. Ironweld Arsenal. Sorry, Ironweld Arsenal.
Yeah, the weird alchemists and siege engine people.
Yeah, the fucking nerds. They also sort of throw in some rumors. What are they saying? They sort of there's on this tirade of information about Anvilgard that you're going, yes, very good, yes. They say, oh, and mind you, the Anvilgard used to be a prosperous trading port, and now of course, all the seafaring trade's all dried up thanks to those blooming Nurgle lot and those damn undead trolling out in the Syrian Sea, stopping all of our trade. Twice blight their eyes.
Wow. So they're out at sea.
If you're looking for some light entertainment, I hear that the gladiatorial pits over down the road is quite entertaining.
Visiting adventurers like to pop by and get hurt.
Murder everyone.
Get dragged into shit they don't want to be in.
You loved it.
Right, nice.
Oh well, I guess Orixion will like very slightly, politely bow his head to the chief librarian and say, "Thank you, librarian. You have been of great assistance to us and to the God King this day. Be blessed."
Oh, why, thank you, Master. I'll go now and it's put a pip in me step, that has. And they go off to go and, don't know, fold paper and stuff. Right, so you all rendezvous back together at your sort of temporary dwellings, and eventually you receive your summons to meet the Conclave. Interestingly, when the other three of you, when you're sort of, hitting the showers after the combat, No, I've let the blood stain on my skin. I've washed it off. Don't be silly. Or maybe, you're sort of...
I've already had my blood shower today.
You're leaving the Colosseum. So roll me a... I think what's your passive awareness? Is it like a natural awareness skill, isn't it?
Natural awareness. I've got 2.
Yeah, roll me a 4-1 natural awareness.
Everyone?
So,
yeah, you 3 as you're leaving the Colosseum.
So what's that? If a natural awareness is 2, we say that's just 2 dice?
Yeah.
Pool of 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
A pool of 2.
4 and a 1. What do you want?
Yep, that's all you needed. A 4.
4 and a 1! What is going on?
Soulbound. See, not soulbound.
No.
But better.
Oh my god!
You were in the pits, but hey.
So maybe you all hear this one drunken. Maybe as you're leaving the Colosseum, slaughter pit. The song is called Colosseum. You're leaving the combat place, and maybe there's a drunk guy who's lost a lot of money, and he's yelling and shouting out as the bouncers throw him out on his ass. And he's shouting at them, and you wouldn't pay it any mind normally. Stuff sort of happens all the time in this part of town, but the stuff he's saying kind of piques your interest because he's sort of drunkenly yelling and saying, "Oh well, it doesn't matter. You've taken all my money because the next time a great big Nurgle ship comes along into the docks, then we'll all be dead of disease anyway. They can't protect us forever."
That kind of sounds sucky.
Ting. Note added. Press J to open journal.
But what did he say? He said, next time you Nurgle ship.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter that you've taken all my money because the next time a great Nurgle ship comes into the docks, we'll all be dead with disease anyway. Word for word.
Very good.
Right?
Are there shadows? Is it nighttime yet?
No.
There's a lot of mist.
Well, see, what is cool, just to get to know, it's cool. Right, so I do have in my possession where's he gone? I'm wearing a shadow shroud. I have a machine gun. It's very cool. No, I have a shadow shroud. I have a shadow shroud, which the shadow shroud basically counts as a shadow for me. So I'm technically always in shadow. If I want to use my shadow leap ability, so I can kind of just ordinarily have to stand in a shadow and then leap from the shadow. I can kind of just appear in a shadow and then appear in another shadow. So
nice.
If he's near a shadow, I'd love to pop up next to him and just get the shit out of him.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I disappear in my shadow shroud next to him and pop out the shadows and yell, "Oh, you bumbling fool! You let them take your money. You could have just slit their throat and taken your money back."
What the hell? What demon is this? They've come for us all now. We're all going to die.
The day has come. I heard you saying about the demons coming to the shore. Why would the Nurgles come here? I would like to very much slit their throats. Slitting throats is very fun.
Oh my god.
Nurglings don't have throats.
Whatever's around their blobbly bits, but they're blobbly bits.
They're like owls. They don't have necks.
Hey, that's a much bigger target, isn't it?
He's like, "Oh, you're new in town or something? Just last week, there was a great big bloody Nurgle ship sat in the dock. You can still see it upside down right now."
Did somebody sink it?
Yeah, of course, the city managed to sink it. Have you not seen the cannons on the harbour walls?
I've
It
got
take
to
more than
bloody
that to
eyes.
take on Anvilgard.
There was an attack by the Nurgles. Ah, fantastic. Were they all eliminated? Or?
Fantastic.
What do I look like? The bloody city guard?
No, you look like a drunk fool.
Well, that's exactly what I am, so quit talking to me. And go and complete your quest or something.
Leaps into the shadows and disappears.
Must have dreamt it.
It was all a dream.
Right. So you all.
I relay the information to the party. There's a sunken Nurgle ship in the docks.
Ting, add it to your journal. Okay.
Ba-ding! If we head there fast, there might still be some Nurgle for us to slaughter. So move quickly, if you can keep up. Poof, I vanish again into the shadows.
No, you don't.
Towards the docks, I'm going that way.
Oh my god, you're actually going.
You're supposed to be going to meet the Conclave.
Oh, fuck off, we're going to come back. Then I reappear, sorry.
That was not a side quest that you just accepted.
No, I thought it was the main quest.
No, you chose to speak to the drunk.
Okay, dokie. Well, after this, there's a Nurgle ship we can look at. To the Conclave.
Good old Chekhov's gun again.
Yep, there it is.
Chekhov's Nurgle boat.
Chekhov's
Check out
Nurgling.
drunk.
It's just the flavour of the town. Right, so you all head to a place called the Dauntless Hall. And on the map, it is number 16.
And where was the
Can you ping it?
It's right in the middle, I think. Yeah.
Ah, right.
Where was the
the Hag's thing.
slaughtering?
Hag's Sacrament was 35.
Wait, where's that?
Staying Alive, 35.
There's no order to this map. This is horrific.
Oh, it's back here. Jesus.
Oh my god, that's worse.
There's the pit.
Ah,
Because
Yeah,
we're
it's a long way to the docks.
Yeah, we're quite far away to the docks and to Orixion. Because
was
Orixion is
it-
in the center, right?
Yeah, you've all met up. You're outside the Dauntless Hall, which is
okay.
in the which is just outside the Black Nexus. And so the Dauntless Hall, where you were sent to meet with representatives of the Conclave, is an ancient structure whose foundations were laid by the anvils of the Heldenhammer when they claimed the city for Sigmar long ago. It is a severe building, towering and impressive, but also looking bleak and sad. Guards at the door admit you once you identify yourselves and lead you to a large room where Councillor Morgan Kassan waits.
Oh wow, I actually wrote the name correctly for the first time since I don't know.
I didn't, but it wasn't outrageous.
The Councillor is a youngish and serious-looking woman with dark hair. A scar across the right side of her face belies her experience with the more dangerous aspects of politics. She stands and greets each of you by name as you enter. When all are assembled, she speaks at length to anyone new to Anvilgard, telling them about the history of the city, the crucible of life, the defoliant cannons that hold back the aggressive plant life, the Golvarian passage, and the searing sea. It is plain to see that she is proud of Anvilgard and has genuine love for the city. Orixion like, yeah, I know that.
I was going to say, it's just mouthing along. She's speaking. She's like, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, word for word.
Yeah. No, I know the spiel.
Then her voice grows quieter and more cautious as she tells you about the Black Scale Coil. She tells you that the Coil have agents everywhere, and even she cannot avoid their involvement in what is to come. Kassan advises you to keep a clear head and be suspicious of everyone.
Even you.
You're tripping up me.
You got me. I am the baddie.
So after sort of introducing Anvilgard, she sort of steers the conversation back to the defoliant. And she says, of course, the Ironwield Arsenal is always seeking to improve the efficiency of the defoliant formula. I don't know if you've heard rumblings of it whilst you've been staying in Anvilgard, but we were supposed to receive a new formula of the defoliant that was supposed to make it a lot more effective. It would effectively reduce the mist that is creeping inside the city walls. Unfortunately, the delivery was by a Karajon frigate, and it has not arrived. We believe that it was brought down over the Searing Sea on its way to Anvilgard.
Could it have been sunk by a Nurgle ship on the way over?
It is very possible. There is a large presence, but we also, without investigating, we have no idea who is the culprit. Fortunately for us, the Conclave has managed to arrange passage for yourselves aboard a ship to go and investigate and find the crash site. If you manage to help deliver the new defoliant formula, then this will be very conducive to your business in Anvilgard. Do you have any questions?
Councillor Kassan, what foes might we be likely to face out in the Searing Sea? It is some time since I have been in Anvilgard.
Of course. Well, we have obviously sightings of the Nurgle ships have been becoming more frequent. You may have seen in the harbour we had an attack just last week.
Oh, we've all seen that.
We also lie not too far away from the infamous Isle of Ghouls. The flesh-eater courts regularly travel the Searing Sea to prey on our trading ships. It's making life in the city very difficult. Fortunately for us, the ship that we have recruited for you is one of the fastest. You should be able to outrun any dangers.
Or perhaps we shall be able to catch our foes.
Well, do you believe that your folk there are on the run, or if they have settled in one of these isles around the nearby lands?
We tend not to venture too far out along the coast. The wildlife makes that very difficult. But so far, all we know is they keep to the island and the surrounding seas.
You're fantastic. Me and Cass is here, Carrich here. I'll bring my wonderful friend. We'll go nip over to the Isles, murder everyone, and come back very soon. And these two can come as well.
Excellent. Any other questions?
No, just that we can murder everyone. Or do we get a crew on our ship, or are we sailing it ourselves? 'Cause I don't actually sail things myself.
Oh, we have acquired the services of a
wonderful.
A somewhat renowned captain and his crew. I believe they shall be sufficient for the task.
I will judge their renownedness.
I'm sure Sigmar will judge them. Let us go.
Oof. To the docks!
He disappeared in the shadow.
Stop!
David, I'm off for Batman.
So she says that she will lead you to meet this captain. So she does. She leads you to the docks, to the Bleak Scale Harbour, which you can see on the map, number 8. Docks districts are
The only docks there are.
and she leads you to a tavern on the promontory number 5, which is called the Beached Mermaid. The Beached Mermaid is one of the most popular taverns on Bleakscale Harbour, and even at this early hour it is full of patrons. It is a motley bunch, humans, elves, and Duardin all mixed together, getting drunk and telling sea stories. Kassan expertly weaves through the crowd inside the tavern, heading for one of the private rooms deeper into the bar. She opens the door and waves you inside. Within the room are a table, a cold fireplace, and a series of plushly appointed chairs and couches. Most of these are drawn up to the table, and an elf rests on one. There is a smell of salt air in the room that you didn't detect in the bar as a whole. The elf stands up gracefully, reaching a hand first to Councillor Kassan and then to each of you as she makes introductions, a stiff smile on her face for the entire time. Still, Theriel Kaltis grins broadly, welcoming you with the manner of a practiced diplomat. He has well-worn leathers that creak and shimmer with sea salt when he moves, and a cloak made from some fearsome beast.
Ooh.
What?
Thank you.
Diplomat.
Was that on purpose?
You played your
Orixion
diplomat
casts
card.
Diplomat.
I am a diplomat.
I think you muted, Alex.
One of his diplomatic skills.
Do not tell me that you've been trying to speak to us all this time.
And he speaks through diplomat.
I don't remember. I don't know when that would have accidentally been muted. So yeah, you probably haven't been able to hear me for ages. Which is probably why nobody responded when I went, "Greetings, counsellor."
Oh no!
Yes, that's probably why.
Oh no!
I thought people would just ignored me because they didn't think it was very helpful.
I'm so sorry.
Oh dear, Alex. Bad one.
Oh,
you could try
well.
Oh, go on.
I just did it. It's okay.
It's not the counsellor this time, it's someone else.
Greetings, elf.
Yes.
Is the elf? Do we know? Like, is it obvious that the elf is? No, it doesn't seem like he's an Lumineth. I thought he would be.
Oh,
Oh, he looks
Lumineth.
shifty.
Sailor
It's
on
like-
the sea, not under the sea.
Yeah, but Ollie made he made a point of mentioning the smell of sea salt that was not present in the tavern, but in this room.
He's a sailor.
I guess.
Salty clothes.
I guess.
Oh, in about I don't know, like 20 minutes to an hour later, I think Daryl's going to feel very smug.
Yeah.
There's another character who's an Ideneth, so that's probably what they're hinting at.
Right.
I see.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
Yes, Theriel Kaltis says, "Yes, welcome, friends. I believe you are the four who are going to join me on the Black Fin. What is there anything you need to know about the ship before we embark, or are you all practiced sailors?"
No, never touched the water, never trusted the stuff. Far too wavy. But you look like a fine captain that I think could potentially not get us killed in the first 2 minutes of being at sea. So, let's see how this goes.
Right. Well, with Molasses being Molasses, Carrich kind of steps up, sort of like does a half bow, goes, "Greeting, friend. I do apologize for my my colleague's mannerisms. I hope that we can have a pleasant journey, and we all trust you to lead us."
Well, trust a fish to swim. This fishy creature here can swim us across as well. It's fine. We'll be fine.
That is a compliment.
I called him a fish. If you think of a compliment, you can think that if you want.
His like wry grin is unperturbed, and he's like, "Oh, Molasses, I know that the daughters of Cain are one's for combat. I hope that if we encounter any trouble on the Searing Seas, I can count on your support to help in the battles."
Well, of course. You speak my language now, good fish. We'll be fine. You can hide and I'll protect you, don't you worry.
I'm curious, Captain. Have you sailed with any of Sigmar's chosen before. And he gestures to himself and Zuriel.
He makes like a thinking face, No, I don't believe I have. I don't tend to see many of your types around Anvilgard these days, especially not out on the searing sea. But your presence would be most welcome.
As long as you are a loyal subject of the God King, I'm sure that we will all be the best of friends. And he gives the captain a piercing look to try and attempt to intuit whether the captain is in fact less than dedicated to Sigmar and his cause.
Okay. So you get advantage, do you?
I do, because of I diplomat.
You diplomated.
I diplomat him.
Cool, so that is a 4-1 intuition test.
Very well.
A little beard of sweat just rolls down Carrick's brow.
Intuition is mind, so I get 3 dice here. Okay,
Nice.
We pass.
You got it. Also, could you roll me a 4-2 lore test? Because you may have heard of this captain during your talk with the librarian, as he is semi-famous.
Or is less good, but I do get advantage if it's to do with Anvilgard.
Yeah, I've already included that, so it's just a 4-2.
Okay. I forgot about how advantage worked here. So this is just two dice, and I fail. And I also rolled too many dice, but I failed anyway.
roll again. You roll a 2d6. Okay.
Nah.
So yeah, you maybe it was a long shot. So yeah, you intuit that maybe you've encountered these kind of people before, these kind of privateers, but from the sort of his cloak that is sort of a skin of a beast. You reckon him for one of the sort of the hunters who prowl the sea, not necessarily illegally, but they're definitely they're definitely like money first kind of people.
Used to know someone like that.
They're definitely what's the word?
Getting flashbacks.
Yeah, they're
Would you say they exist in a morally grey area?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, show.
Excellent.
Chaotic good.
Orixion will just kind of, not to the point of actually trying to do any kind of intimidation, but we'll just kind of fix him with that stare, and just kind of nod very slightly as if kind of his point is made, and to make sure that the captain feels an eye is upon him.
Fair. He sort of grins back at you without giving anything away. And then says, sort of claps his hands together and says, right then, well, meet me at the Blackfin tomorrow morning. We sail on the blood tide. That is first thing in the morning to non-sea types.
Yeah.
Very well.
Thank you,
Prepare the
Fishman.
vessel, Captain.
He bows and
Carrick bows back.
at you and the councillor as well, and she leaves the room, and lets you know that she's going back to the big hall, name of the hall, the Dauntless Hall, and bids you good luck on your mission. and she says, I will see you upon your return, and then I shall tell you more about this. And then she sort of leans in and looks around about the black scale coil.
The what?
The black scale coil.
Is that all? She just says that. She doesn't say anymore.
She said a minute ago that they're everywhere. You can't trust anyone.
Yeah. Remember?
Got their fingers in every pie.
But did she walk away and just went, the black scale coil, and she left?
No.
No, I literally said a full sentence as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what else did you say?
I said good luck on your mission, something. When you come back, we can talk more about the black scale coil.
Right, sorry. I kind of separated my mind. I was like, say goodbye, and then left and went, black scale coil. Put around the corner. I was like, what the fuck?
I think that might just have been you checking out mentally for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think probably so. My dog is staring at me. He wants to come in.
Squirrel.
Understandable.
And what is there to do in Anvilgard of an evening?
Oh well. Yes, you are free to wander about the harbour, which I will show you a picture of.
Lovely Scale Harbour. What a lovely place.
Yes.
Charming name.
What a lovely place. What a lovely place. Bonnh.
So
Happening right now.
there are various places. There are inns, there are taverns, there are shops, there are clothing outlets. There's a Gap. There's a supply shop.
Is there?
Anything there is are Five Guys, obviously. So is there any kind of shop that anyone would be interested into going into?
I mean, it's good, but we have some. I have no concept of how much is a lot of currency, but we do have the ability to.
Yeah, if you go to equipment.
Yeah, I know what I've got. I've got 85 drops. I just don't know if that's the least amount in the world or a lot.
Well, it's not the least because I have less, but it's not a lot either.
Let's see. So a sword is 150.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, it's not the least, but it's still not a lot.
Fuck all then. Okay, what I need? I've got my. That's what I need. The blood of my enemies, I think.
Yeah, heavy armor is 350.
I'm nearly there with my 240 drops that I start with.
Jesus Christ, moneybags.
Oh, look at me. I start with 20.
Sigmar,
I
literally
pickpocket Zuriel.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Why do you start with 240 drops, Milo?
Because I do?
Is that what's on the wizard's archetype?
I suppose it's probably because I may need to acquire things, sort of arcane goods.
Yeah.
So I probably need to be Mr. Moneybags. Spending all my cash on incenses and storm crystals and stuff that I'm making up at the moment. So I sort of missed a bit of what you said was actually here in the docks. I was just caught up in thinking how much of a shithole it looked like.
It does look like a shithole, doesn't it?
Look, okay, fine. Just because you live in Altrincham, a super posh place, everyone likes.
I'm freshly forged from Azerheim, and this is where Sigmar has sent me on my first outing.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly,
so,
Carrich doesn't really have a lot of money and doesn't really want any material things. So he'll just enjoy the views of the harbour because he's not really used to like being by the sea. Because obviously, well, he's all about mountains. So just appreciating what he doesn't, usually experience.
yeah. So I can list off a few places as you go up and down the harbour. There was a shop called The Last Stop. Looks more like a general store. There's a place called Fine Outfitters. which is a warehouse that looks like it's selling like tents and blankets, backpackers and sacks, all sort of like fishing, going out to sea stuff.
Oh.
There's a maps and cartography supplies shop. There's a pub called the Crow's Nest, which looks very run down. There's quite a respectable looking establishment called the Hook House, which you may recognise to be in a kind of a Dawadin style architecture. Yeah, and then that's all the notable places.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep to my original decision.
What was that?
I'm just going to enjoy the sea. Because he doesn't usually get to experience that, so it's novel to him.
I want to investigate the Nurgle boat, but no, not needing any kind of actual elements to it. Just that's probably of interest.
I mean,
It's not in the harbour, though, is it?
I thought you said it was.
yeah, it's upended in the harbour. It's upside down.
Wasn't it just outside the harbour? Oh, sorry, I misunderstood that part.
Well, it's so around the harbour, the wall, you can see in the picture there's like cannons that go along the wall, which sunk the big Nurgle ship. You can kind of see it out as like the entrance to the harbour, like this blob shape, and then you can see. I don't know how good your eyesight is when you're elves, right? So maybe you can see, sort of smaller ships, and they're trying to break up the ship to like shift it out of the harbour.
Well, yeah, just as there's nothing of interest there, so just as someone who wants to dwell in darkness and death would probably just sneak aboard and just to hide out, perch in the darkness and revel in the bloodlust, the destruction that took place here. That'll be what I'll be doing all evening.
Zuriel will invite Orixion to share a beverage and catch up. And Orixion, it has been I don't know how many lives and years since we last fought together, but I do believe I would like to share with you a drink before we head out.
Gladly would I speak with you, brother. It has been perhaps more lives for you than for me, but each one is different and each one changes us. I would hear some of your lives.
The shade.
So where do you head out of the Beached Mermaid, the Hook House, or the Crow's Nest?
Probably the nice one.
The Dawadin one or the Beached Mermaid one? You're just in.
Probably I think the Dawadin one. Zuriel would lean towards.
Yeah. You may know them, that like if they run it, then they would put in the effort, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like our metallic appearances will fit in nicely.
Yeah.
Perhaps less likely to deal with the sort of general commoner or perhaps amongst the Dawadin.
Yeah, so you head to the Hook House, and I can tell you a little bit about it. On the hook is a Dawadin expression for sleeping, especially in a hammock. So the proprietor of this inn is a Dawadin called Groison.
Obnoxious.
He runs a welcoming establishment that, while it has a comforting appeal for other Dawadin, lower ceilings, mostly stone decor, many fires, many other species also appreciate a stay here. He even has a special sunken area where Sylvaneth can soak their roots in a fine mud bath while enjoying a humid fog that is blessedly free of defoliant.
So cool!
That's very nice. How are the ceiling heights for an 8.5 foot sort of?
You're 8. What? You're 8. What?
I think you may have to go to the Sylvaneth area.
You're 8 feet tall.
Stormcast go up to around 9.
Yeah.
So, not an especially
Oh yeah, no, I know,
Stormcast,
but still.
Orixion is
think
an unusually short Stormcast, only 7'7".
I said I was 7'2", so I'm very tall.
Oh, wow, I'm the shortest one. I am 6'6".
Yeah,
Wow.
that's fine.
Zuriel perhaps reaches the door and places a hand on the wall about like a foot above where the door ends, and takes off his crested helm and sort of.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
preferred the Dwarven establishments, but they do come with a couple of drawbacks.
Yeah, the proprietor, Guri, says, a couple of Stormcasts. It's unusual to see your type around here. I recommend that you head over to the Sylvaneth quarter. You'll be able to be very comfortably standing up in there. There's no one there at the moment. Feel free to take part in the mud bath, but up to you, of course. I'll bring you some drinks.
It would be much obliged, and thank you for the space. I fear that if I had to share a drink with my old friend Orixion here for too long, then perhaps even a reforging would not get the cricks out of me back.
I kind of like the idea of the Stormcast going into the mud bath anyway, because they'll just not care at all.
Yeah.
Like the Sigmarite will just like immediate. When we have like oleophobic and hydrophobic surfaces, they'll just like get in it and then immediately get out of it and be spotless again. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, cool. So you you have a nice time. You have an ale each.
Stormcast get drunk?
That's a good question.
I don't think so.
It feels like they probably shouldn't be able to, right?
No,
Because they're sort of.
It's that thing where it's like, they're sort of the thing that stops them getting poisoned to death. Stops them getting intoxicated.
There's that scene in Soul Wars where the guy's been in the library, and he's basically like, he's like drank like 2 whole jugs of wine and not eaten his sandwich for like 6 days or something, and he's just like, so I was lost in my books. And then he's like, I'm out of wine, but there was a whole jug here a day ago. I think they also just they don't need to eat very often either, because all that magical sustenance.
They just need the light.
Open my lantern now and again.
What do you reckon? Orixion gets drunk and then tries to do shots out of his lantern?
I really want to make that happen. Probably not like tonight. We've got a dangerous Nurgle voyage tomorrow, but like,
We've got a Nurgle voyage if Molasses has her way.
I'm already on a Nurgle voyage. It's just not very exotic, and it's quite stationary.
Did you not have enough of Nurgle voyages already?
No, never.
Have you forgotten already?
Yeah. Do you want to
this is a whole new life.
Do you want to sail a ship into an orifice?
It's been a while.
Whilst the Storm brothers are catching up, your superhuman hearing and awareness makes you pay attention to some sort of raised voices at the bar, and you hear Guri's voice shouting angrily. And you look over and you see a couple of elves armed with sort of daggers and swords, and they're gesturing to Guri, trying to stand over him, trying to intimidate him. And you can see him sort of leaning on the side of his bar and saying, and he's saying, "If I told you once, I'll tell you 100 times. I'm not interested. You can do your worst if you like, but I can't imagine you'd like to have that cannon fall down onto you in the process." And he's referring to the cannon, the city cannon, which is directly above where his tavern is. So these two elves eventually leave, unless you intervene, of course.
I kind of would.
Okay.
Yeah.
You stand up out of the mud bath. Just your
Yeah,
armor.
Orixion stands up to the extent that it is possible for him to stand up
Yeah.
in this room.
It's sunken, so you're probably like at the right eye level now.
Yeah, so he won't step out of the bath. He'll stay in the bath for the purposes of correct altitude. And we'll just project his voice across the bar and say, what was the barman's name again?
Gory.
Gory.
Gruesome. Gruesome.
Oh, fuck, what's the word? I'm trying to think of like a fantasy-ish version of like Mister. You know, like Messere or like fucking wouldn't be Master,
I think.
Yeah. Master Guri. I do hope there's not any trouble here.
Oh no, don't worry yourself. These gentlemen were just leaving. And he fixes them a deadly stare, which belies his days as a fire slayer. No, not really.
A blazing eye stare.
Literally, his eyes go on fire.
Behind his eyes. Do the shady characters look in our direction, or do they just piss off?
Yeah, they kind of glance at you, and then they I think when they see you both, they look down at you, and they obviously didn't notice you because you're so low down. But yeah, they kind of you can see their shock in their faces, and they kind of try and recover quickly, and they sort of take a few steps towards the door, and they say, "Very well, Grois said, but we'll be back next month to see if you change your mind. I recommend you think on it very carefully."
Orixion will say to Zuriel, "One moment, brother. I'm going to have a little word with Mr. Kreutzen. Kreutzmann? Mr. Mephisto Kreutzen.
Bloody hell, Orixion, what are you doing in that bath?
I gave you one simple task. Not to get in the bath.
What are you doing? You'll sit in that bloody bath.
I don't know why I bother.
Rixarkin?
No.
Orixion will sort of shuffle his way half height across the room over to where the barman is, and lean in close and say, "If you don't mind my saying so, those gentlemen did not seem like welcome business partners. Anything we can do to help?"
You see him take an axe from underneath the bar and like place it back in like a place where it's normally kept, and he sort of grins at you sort of thankfully and says, no, it's thank you very much for offering, but it is bloody black scale coil lads. They keep coming back. They own half the bloody harbour. Typical protection racket. If people don't pay up, they normally set their establishment on fire, but I was smart enough to set up this place right underneath the powder works. They try that, the whole city's defences go up in flames. Ha!
Yes, a cunning ploy indeed, though high risk, if you don't mind me saying.
High risk, high reward, that's what us businessmen say. And besides, what's the place called? The Hook House is it's quite popular with with those who pay well. I've seen to that. I do have powerful friends, so don't you worry yourself.
Well, I certainly shan't in that case, but maybe you'll be able to help us help you. My comrade in arms over there and our associates are interested in, shall we say, cleaning up this city. And ever since we stepped through the gates, we've been hearing the name Shadow Scale Coil. Seems like quite the powerful syndicate, and it doesn't seem to have the God King's interests in mind. I, on the other hand, and he gestures to his wings and lantern, I am his will made incarnate. And if there's anything you can tell me to help bring these criminals down, make your life a little easier, I'd like to hear it.
He lets out a sigh and he says, I wish I could help. I really do, but I'm just an innkeeper at the end of the day. All I know is that they're probably the most powerful crime syndicate in the whole of Anvilgard, and word on the street is that they pretty much run the whole city. If I were you, I'd start at the top and work my way down.
Interesting. You think the city council is complicit?
He holds his hands out. Rumours, I should say. There's a lot of talk you hear over here as an innkeeper, and that'd be something that I've heard.
Doubtless. Well, you've nothing to fear from me. Just now.
Oh, you had me in the first half there. Not gonna lie.
No, I think Orixion. I mean, basically, I was about to go diplomat.
Play your diplomat card.
My player's instinct is that this person's okay. I don't think I'm going to roll tests against him just now. So, yeah, I think Orixion would nod and say, "Well, then I shall return to your very fine mud bath and leave you be." Good evening.
And good evening to you, sir. I'll send over some warm buckets of mud in a second.
A picture of like a little gnoblar or something, like coming over with a bucket of mud, dumping it on top of Orixion's head.
Yeah, a little gloom spit goblin with 2 buckets, 2 pails of mud, with some mushrooms in. Right, lovely. All right. So, and I guess Stormcast don't need to sleep, so I imagine you exit the tavern as the sun rises.
The sun rises.
AKA Blood Tide.
Ooh.
Da, da, da.
Ooh, TM.
That is ominous.
It is. Can you imagine living somewhere that like shines red?
Oddly, Molasses never felt more at home.
Of course it does.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it is exceptionally early in the morning, and the sun still sleeps on the horizon, giving a bloody red cast to the lagoon. You find the Black Fin without trouble. The Corsair's ship is sleek and narrow, and the deck is no more than a dozen feet above the waterline. There are no gun ports on both sides, a reinforced prow, and there are gun ports on both sides. A reinforced prow.
That's something
that
very specific to say what there isn't.
It's a diplomatic vessel, no guns aboard.
No anchor either.
An artillery unit. So there are gun ports on both sides, a reinforced prow, and you note the boarding ladders and hooks mounted on the bulwarks. The ship is stained with a deep black-red resin that seems to absorb all light in the gathering gloom. Below the waterline, the timbers are painted white. If you ask Cultist about this, he explains that it makes the ship less visible to the dangerous creatures that live beneath the waves of the searing sea. And as you come up, he nods to you as you approach, and you have just enough time to get on board, store your gear in one of the front cabins, and as you head up back to the top deck, they're getting ready to set sail out of the harbour.
Store my
So what is the crew status? We've got the captain.
About 20 crew.
20 crew, that's cool.
And I can tell you actually. 20 crew, capacity for up to 10 passengers, and 20 units of storage, whatever that means. So once you're aboard, Zuriel introduces Sulemek, an Idenith with pale skin and stern features, as my first mate, the noble Sulemek. The other elf only grimaces and replies, I am not your mate in any meaning of the word, but as long as your promise stands, we shall work together. Zuriel waves off the harsh words and continues to show you around the ship. That is Sulemek.
Let's have a look at him.
He looks like an ass.
Ooh!
He really does look like an ass.
He looks like an Eldar, is what he looks like.
Yeah.
Why is the boat in half? Wait.
It's the different layers.
Oh my god. Zoom out. Zoom out.
Have you ever rented a flat or a house?
It started zoomed in. All I could see was just the two bits of the boat, and I'm like, oh no, this is not starting very well.
So
Familiar with floor plans.
Step one, stick the boat back together.
Oh my god.
Jesus. I was going to ask a more serious question.
Oh yeah. It's a
Can
submersible.
Can elves, like, at a glance, kind of get a sense of how old each other are? Like, is that kind of like just...
I don't know.
No, considering, like, elves don't really age that
Yeah.
much. Like, can they go, you're 3, you're 20, you're 50?
I guess it's...
I mean, possibly not. Like, some people don't look their age, right? You wouldn't know until you ask
But you
them.
imagine there's got to be subtleties that they're probably more aware of than...
Yeah, probably subtleties. It would be like an intuition test for sure.
Can I intuit? Oh wait, who is this guy? Is he important or is he just a random guy?
He's the first mate.
Oh great. Can I try and intuit how old he is?
If you want it.
With an advantage?
No.
Okay. Just because I'm an elf.
That old game.
Whether you ask for it, though.
With plus 10? I don't have any bonus situations, so you just roll just whatever mind is, then you just roll
Yeah.
the mind score.
Yeah.
My mind is 4, so I surely can't roll 4.
I'll do a
Yeah,
5-1 test.
So I got 1 5. I got 4. So I'm gonna roll. I got mind of 4, but no training or focus. So I'm just gonna roll 4 dice for having 4 mind. That sounds right to me. Yeah. Hey.
Nice, you got it. So you intuit that he is pretty old. I mean, to you, he'd probably be the equivalent of being like 50-ish, so like late middle age for an elf.
That's cool then, because elves can live to 600. Is that? Am I making that?
Well, there's no actual age limit to some elves, right?
Yeah.
They're practically immortal. So when it comes to the Ideneth, they rarely live past their 3rd century. But others, they can go on.
Yeah. So let's say this Ideneth is like 200.
Cool. It only matters because the particular elf is very reactive to age and experience. So definitely younger humans and elves very belittling of, but respectful, more respectful on older.
Oh, I see.
This makes so much sense now.
You're looking for a sugar daddy.
this whole back and forth thing. This makes so much more sense now. Molasses
Yeah.
is just an ass.
Unless you're a wizened old elf, and then lots of respect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Cool. So, yeah. As the sun rises. Oh, hang on. In the centre of the ship, between the masts, is a great collection of gear: tar-coated barrels, great coils of rope, pulleys, lead weights, lumber, construction tools, and more. If anyone wants to kind of do a crafting test to see if they know what this equipment is for, they can do so.
I don't think I'm good at crafting, but I can check. I suck at crafting.
None of us are particularly craftsman-like.
No
I don't
crafty?
think.
No. But it's crafting is mine, so I still have 4. I could roll
Yeah,
up. What's
it's
the test?
Yeah, that's so good.
It's
In
a
my case, it's
4-2
not.
test.
So 2 4s. Here we go.
Hey, you got it.
No, well,
There you go. Mindful enough.
So, yeah, this looks to be what you would expect equipment would look like for kind of recovering stuff from shipwrecks, basically. Like,
I
for
don't know.
like pulley systems for like pulling stuff out of the sea.
Makes sense.
I have no seafaring creature, but it looks like this is the kind of humble nonsense these people would use to fish out rubbish and trash from the bottom of this wavy blue horribleness. So, yeah. I don't like it.
Molasses, it sounds like something that we need for our mission.
I don't see much potential to destroy anything with these fishing hooks, so if you want to sell your hands with that, that's fine. I'll sell my hands with the blood of my enemies. You take care of that. Ugh.
Yeah, not a fan of Jackie Chan films. Don't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
how to use a pulley.
Yeah,
as
as
a
a kick
weapon.
the pulley, kick the little bucket up into the face, get stuck on the head, whack him with a ladder.
Yeah, give him a vase
Love
to
it.
hat to hold.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
hit
yeah.
someone else. Right. So as the sun rises, the blackfin begins to move across the lagoon's red water. The crew use oars to push themselves away from the dock and unfurl the sails. Caltis stands at the stern of the ship, steady hands on the wheel. Beside him stands Surmek, a look of intense concentration upon his elven face. As the ship exits the lagoon, the reason for waiting until high tide becomes apparent. While the lagoon itself is kept clear of debris, there are many shipwrecks just outside the harbour. Some were unfortunate accidents due to the shifting sandbars, but most are the result of the cannons of the Scourge privateers. To the south, the characters can see the rotting remains of the Nurgle ship, the Pustulant Horror, through the clear waters. A mass of rotting wood, held together by bulbous tentacles and covered with green and purple funguses, with the sunken and mangled bodies of its other Nurgle maggotkin surrounding it. There are a couple of tenders surrounding it with workers grimacing at the foul work. Once the ship has cleared the graveyard, the expressions on both Caltis and Sulmek's faces soften. The Blackfin is now in the deep water of the ocean proper. Bang, and that's a great place to leave it.
Nice.
We're out to sea.
It's a nice intro.
Lovely.
Well into this.
Yeah, nice.
Good fun.
Very nice.
That is like crisply just as much as I prepared.
That was
On the
crisp
nose.
to finish exactly 10 on the dot.
Well, alright, you've got a good band of characters. I can see this being really interesting.
A few different personalities, for sure.
You got like our parents, and then there's you and me.
That's true.
Sounds about right.
I feel like me and Milo would make good dads.
I think so.
Well, you spent the whole night in the tavern, in a mud bath.
Yeah, like all good dads do.
Yeah, sometimes dads need dad time together
We
With
do.
other
Little
dads.
drinks.
in a mud bath.
But
Oh,
then
one day.
when it comes to like asking the parents, like, can we go out, to the arena for a laugh this evening? They definitely come to Zuriel, not
Yeah,
Orixion.
100%.
Yeah.
Orixion,
Yeah, I
like
don't-
no one that you don't want to piss off.
So on the McDonald's triangle.
The what?
Shit, yeah.
Orixion is we've got food at home, and Zuriel is probably on the line between joining in and.
I don't know about this.
I think somewhere in between the two. Yeah.
What's a one that Daryl would understand? What theme?
No idea.
Thank you.
There'll be loads of League related. We have McDonald's
sure.
at home.
Well, then I won't understand.
But you already know what you're talking about.
Yeah, barely.
That's alright. I'll look this up. I'll look
Grasp
this.
of
We have
reality is
McDonald's
weak at the best
home
of times.
triangle
I've
thing.
got it. I'll share
Got
it.
it. Alright.
I've got a League one.
I just found it as well.
It's basically if there are kids in the back of the car yelling McDonald's, how does the character react on this triangle?
Right, okay.
And the three tenants are joining in, saying we have food at home, or pulling into the drive-through and then ordering a single black coffee and leaving.
Right.
As a parent, I feel it's missing a fourth factor, which would be actually just getting some McDonald's.
That is the McDonald's.
Or is that? Oh, that
That's
is
the
right.
McDonald's.
I thought that was just you start yelling along with them, but I didn't realise that implied you actually go and get the McDonald's. That was my misreading of the situation.
Right, okay. So Alex's character would be definite top.
Yeah. Food at home.
In more ways than one.
I think
Molasses.
I think Milo's would be at least in that area.
I think Zuriel is certainly in the pulls into the drive-through and orders a coffee region, but I'm not sure if it's closer to we have food at home or joining in.
I think
it probably depends on the mood.
I think it's
that's
Kane.
fair.
Say in the middle.
Yeah.
Molasses in
Kane's
that.
slap in the middle, though. You think so?
Yeah.
Fair.
I only recognise that Wolfy boy in the bottom right corner.
There's no wolf.
Wukong.
What's that? He's got
That's
like
that's a monkey.
Oh well.
It's a monkey, you idiot!
Oh, God, how could I not tell?
Fucking rube.